Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Brahma Mera Striparan Takare. Banushashi Bhumi Sutta. Buddha Guru Shukra. Shani Rahu Keteva. Sarve Graha Shantikara Bhavantu. Om. Well, greetings. I'm KozmicKev, and this is KozmicKev100, your weekly astro video zine. This is for the weekend, beginning with Friday, August 26, 2022. Now, today, if we looked at the sky and we're looking for the moon, we're going to have a really hard time finding it because the moon is about to go new tonight, or actually, it's early Saturday morning officially at 1:17 a.m. Okay, so 1:17 a.m. on the 27th, we have a new moon. Now, the lunar mansion this new moon is in is known as Maga. Maga rules the ancestors. The ancestors in Sanskrit are called the Pitris. Maga's ruling planet is Ketu. That's the south node of the moon. So the south node of the moon, nakshatras or lunar mansions, are Ashvini, Maga, and Mula, and they create an environment for healing. And in a lot of ways, we look towards our prodigy. We look towards our children, our grandchildren, and if you're fortunate enough, great-grandchildren, to hold the future and do good things for us. So we want to give things to them. We give things freely. So in Maga, we receive things from our ancestors that are just not because we deserve them, but because they want us to do good. We just got out of Sun in Cancer in Vedic astrology, and we're just in Sun in Leo in the Maga Nakshatra since the afternoon of the 16th, about 10 days ago. And I bet a lot of you have noticed it's easier to get things done since then, and that there's a lot of movement forward to make things happen. And so in this place, we're looking forward to fulfillment of our dharma, our right action, our spiritual action. Maga is also like the throne room, and so it's a place where important decisions are made. One of the symbols is a palanquin, which is basically a very elaborate chair, like a throne that's carried on a bamboo rod that has nodules on the bamboo. Those nodules are significant of our chakras, and we have to just kind of straighten up our back, and open up our chest, and really come from the heart, and come from our truth, in order to get things that we've been entrusted with, to get things done. I think last week I said, so it's partly like King Arthur in The Sword and the Stone. How is this boy able to get this gigantic sword that was stuck in a very hard rock when all these strongmen couldn't do it? There's a sense of grace here. There's a sense of grace like that in the Maga Nakshatra. And as we get later on into the week, by about the 31st or so, the sun will move into Purva Falguni Nakshatra, which is about entertainment and that entertainment side of Leo in Vedic astrology. And so here we are right now. And in Western astrology today, well, we've got ourselves a sun in Virgo. And Virgo's key phrase is I analyze. And Virgo is about service. It's about looking at the microcosm. It's also about purity and about virginity and about healthy living, healthy eating. And it's about the Wilderness Act. And so, I've always thought from one time when there was a stellium in Virgo many years ago, I went on a trip to the Ishi Wilderness, and it was like all these planets are in Virgo, and I was like going to myself, so there's this new moon in Virgo, and it's like, oh yeah, Virgo is the wilderness. It just kind of came to me. That is what we're dealing with. And to have that, to rediscover the wildness, to be able to sunbathe without clothes on, or get in some water that way without bathing suits or anything, and just be your natural self the best way you can be. It's so liberating and it's so beautiful. So anyhow, I'm so happy you joined me today. We're going to start out with Aries and go sign by sign into your horoscope for this week. So, greetings Aries, welcome to your horoscope. Jupiter in the first house, what does it bring? It brings you an extra sense of intelligence. It's also like more spiritual people are coming into your life, people that have like positive thinking, they're godly, they're thinking about higher spiritual forces beyond what we normally see in the material world. And they're also educators, they're teachers. It could even be your father. It can be a priest or a nun or a monk, someone who's taken vows to live a spiritual life. You know, you may not be seeing that, but if anything, you're going to see expansion, you're going to see growth, you're going to see more spirituality. The other thing is, Sun is now in your 6th house. 6th house, you're going to have to work hard, you know, and so hard work is part of this. Mars kind of going into Gemini for you. It's the 3rd house, but that's a Karaka for the 3rd house, so you have more courage to tackle what you need to tackle this week. So in that way too, it's like you start out with the moon this morning, you're in your heart, and then it's all about working hard, and eventually there might be a little bit of romance. Mercury's moving into your 7th house, so there'll be this element of being a sweet talker. It all sounds so good. Well, greetings Taurus, and welcome to your horoscope. So, you know, having Uranus and having the North Node in your 1st house, it's this very Aquarian, like eccentric, unusual placement for yourself. So you're in this more your uniqueness and your unusualness is shining through. Now Venus in Leo is about matters of the heart, you know, and just feeling things deeply. Leo is your 4th house, and 4th house is also your home, where you live, so you might be beautifying things. Fixed assets like a house or even an automobile, beautifying them, making them prettier, giving something to your mother or your father or some older adult in your family that's a luxury item or something that represents sweetness. This is part of what's happening. Now, Virgo in this new moon's in your 5th house, and 5th house celebrates love, it celebrates education, it celebrates creativity, it celebrates your children if you have children, so you're likely to pay more attention to them as we go through this week. And beyond that, I mean, I'd say there's going to be an element of like, with Mars in your 2nd house now, you could be feeling just slightly more argumentative with people, maybe family members, but you also might be looking at finances and trying to take action on your finances to put things in a better place. So, I mean, I think that this weekend's going to be great for you, to be honest with you, and that you're going to have a lot of fun with the moon as well as the sun in your 5th house. So enjoy. It's a good weekend for travel. I'd say this weekend be better to travel than Labor Day weekend when everybody goes. All right. Greetings Gemini, welcome to your horoscope. So you've got a lot more courage now, and you've got this sense of independence. You've got this sense and ability to take on things that are challenging. If you had been a couch potato lately, this is your time to get in physical shape. Not that I have anything against couches or potatoes. Virgo, it's a 4th house, so it kind of makes you like a homebody. And this is, you know, the last month of summer. So, you know, before fall starts, this is kind of last month where light dominates darkness, and so this is like, oh, I got to get this work done, I got to get this wood cut for winter, I've got to make sure that, you know, my roof doesn't leak, and all these things that deal with my household. Also, if you have parents or older adults, you might be concerned about them, their stories, what your ancestry is, what your people's history is. And with Mercury now moving into the 5th house, like there's just opportunities to be more playful, have a lot of wordplay, tell funny stories and jokes, and you know, pay attention to your children and your children's friends and their wittiness and how their education is going along. Well, greetings Cancer, and welcome to your horoscope. So, Virgo time represents the 3rd house, and the 3rd house is sometimes referred to as the library of the zodiac. It's also, especially with Virgo, you know, it's like Virgos are the kind of people that would own a lot of books. I mean, some of them might have all their books electronically on tablets and things like that now. But the old school Virgos, people 45 and over, they probably like having hard copy. Plus, you're not getting that blue light radiation when you're reading regular paper books. So, you know, there's an environmental cost to paper. I mean, but you could always get it printed on tree-free paper. And the other thing is that there's a personal human environmental cost from looking at screens. And, you know, if you're watching this, you're looking at a screen, so I get it. I benefit from that type of thing. But this is about, 3rd house is also about neighbors. And it's about your siblings, you know, your growing up experience. It's about people you knew everywhere from elementary school through high school and maybe even early college, undergrad. You know, it is somewhat symbolic of ages 14 to 21. And so people with a lot of planets in the 3rd house, there's this incredible curiosity. There's also a little bit of like flirtation involved too, because it's like 8 houses away from the 8th house, so there is a sexual nature to it. It's also working with your hands and being friendly with neighbors and taking short trips in your local region, places within 250 miles of you. All right. Yes, indeed. Greetings, Leo, and welcome to your horoscope. So, one thing I heard from another friend of mine who's an astrologer, mostly Western practicer, but also does some 9-star key Chinese stuff, and she goes by the name of Kimmy, and in Western astrology she's a Leo rising, so I just want to give a shout out to Kimmy Terry today, and just appreciate all my people and every one of you who've made comments, and like Rebecca and other folks out there who are watching. I just so much appreciate you. You mean so much to me. So keep it coming. So Leo, you know, Leo time is over in the tropical astrology sense. I mean, if you're born after the 16th of August and you're a Leo, yeah, you'll still be getting that vibe. But what we're feeling here, what we're seeing here right now, is we've got this nice dynamic Jupiter and Aries in the 9th house, which makes the Jupiter super powerful. You know, going on a trip, going to an ashram or a monastery or a spiritual place, and it's trining Venus in Leo, so you feel pretty relaxed, you feel lovely, it's made you more attractive. It's brought some sweetness in your life. But it's also, with that Jupiter in the 9th coming towards the 1st house, it's like there's this positivity, you know, things are not going to be the same, things are lighthearted, we can burn away whatever is super fluff and really enjoy our life in a good way. Virgo time is 2nd house for you, so it's a lot about making money and just getting your finances in order. So just working on that whole business, earth part of your being with the sun and moon this weekend. And I think things will, you know, carry on. I think this is a week to really work on your personal life and all those personal doings. Well, hello Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. So yeah, sun in the 1st house. What a relief. You know what I mean? I think when you go through 12th house solar transits, you know, there can be a lot of losses, and there can be a sense of confusion, and a lot of letting go, a lot of releasing, a need to pay bills, a need to pay attention to karmic debt in whatever form it comes in. So here we are, though. There's this renewal. We've got this new moon happening. I mean, the moon goes into Virgo tonight, Friday night, I think a little bit after 5, and then by the wee hours of the morning, 1:17 a.m., it's this new moon in Virgo. And so Virgos have so many great abilities, you know, but let's we'll get into the whole Mercury aspect of this thing right now, because, you know, Mercury is doing its thing. Mercury is in Libra, so it's in your 2nd house, so you have a lot of things to talk about. You've got a lot to share about. You've seen something, and it's like worth reporting right now. So that is fantastic, and that's things that you're going to end up sharing with your family and your loved ones. And it's also, Mercury can also bring wealth too. So I sense, like, you know, for Virgos, business is good, you know, and things are really moving forward. Now, Jupiter in the 8th house is kind of funny, because the Jupiter in the 8th house is like other people's money, and Venus in the 12th house. So it's like, what I see here is like 8th house is about transformation, letting go of things you can't control, and, you know, 12th house is kind of our final karma in a lot of ways. So if you've made really good karma, and if you're doing the spiritual work right now, you're going to be doubly blessed. You're going to be doubly taken care of, Virgo. All right. Greetings, Libra, and welcome to your horoscope. So here we have Venus and Leo. That's the 11th house. The 11th house is like a party. The 11th house is sometimes where you meet important people that can move you forward in life. So occasionally we meet somebody we like at a party or at a social event. And social events are fun. I mean, I'll have to admit it. They are. They can, at times, you know, if you're up for it, and if it's the right kind of people. If people are too inebriated and you're not about that, they can be pretty annoying, and you want to, like, get out in the exit, you know, as quickly as possible. It's like you think you're having a good time, but you might not really be having a good time. You'll know tomorrow with the hangover, right? That's kind of how it goes. Jupiter in the 7th house. If you're a Libra and you're female, Jupiter can kind of be a significator of husbands. And so, especially if you're Libra rising, so if it's been like you haven't had a relationship in a while, I'd say watch out. You know, one's coming. And if you're a male Libra rising, let's say, and you really wanted to hang out with people of substance that go deeper and aren't just in a frivolity, that really have an education, that have a sense of adventure, that really know about deep spiritual principles across the board, this is your time too. And so better relationships, you know, I think all in all are in the forecast for Libra. And what more could a Libra want? And, you know, you're intelligent, you're understanding, you got Mercury in the 1st house. Good things are happening. Let's just say that to each other. Good things are happening. Greetings, Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope. Good things are happening for you. You know, Virgo represents the 11th house, and one of the things about the 11th house is it actually can make you money. Just like 1 and 1 are 2, just like the 2nd house are material resources, 11 can bring resources. And part of the deal with this is that you're getting yourself out there, putting yourself out there with other people to let them know what you do. You know, I do a number of things creatively. I'm an astrologer by this show. I'm also a musician. I'm also a DJ, and all of these things have brought opportunities for me to increase my resources. And so you need to see that that when you're out socially, if you got a business card or just sharing your phone number with people, letting them know what you do, you kind of want to talk yourself up right now. I know you can be kind of shy and a little bit recluse and sort of reticent to go too far, but I mean, not all of you. I know some others that are very social. Scorpio risings, some really social Scorpio risings, but you know, they're Libra, Lagna, and Vedic, most of them. You know, it's a little bit different. But let's just talk here in the tropical sphere. We've got in the Western zodiac Mars moving into Gemini. That's your 8th house. Ooh, that's sexy. That is so. You know, Gemini is 8 signs away from Scorpio. And then, of course, we've got Uranus now retrograde, which means closer to Earth. And then there's Rahu in the 7th house. And sometimes Rahu brings people that are foreigners in your life. So it's like, oh, wow, that foreign babe. I just, you know, whatever she or he says or they say, it really turns me on. And I want to get to know them. But you have to see that, you know, Uranus is sort of a trickster, is full of surprises. Rahu, or the North Node, is a desire that has no bottom and will sometimes disguise themselves as something they're really not in order to get what they want. So I just say, in all relationship levels for Scorpio, you need to use caution at this time. You know what I'm saying? Right here. But when you're performing and doing your creative works out there, you're doing great. And when you're volunteering to help others, you're improving your karma. So that's what's really going on right now. Okay, greetings Sagittarius, and welcome to your horoscope. Well, doesn't this, like, Jupiter in the 5th house thing completely rock? What a wonderful time. What a wonderful time to be a Sagittarian. Okay, so what is not so wonderful? Well, you know, sometimes when Mars is in the 7th house, people will call you out on your flakiness, like you didn't show up for a meeting that you were supposed to be at, and people were really depending on you. I would say you have to keep your feet on the ground right now. But the other part is that a lot of times the Mars in the 7th house can be about making peace with what upsets you. It could be a part of conflict resolution. And you could be working on that right now. Now Mercury's in the 11th house. That could also bring money, wealth, good connections with intelligent people that can help you get hooked up with some other things. It might be a chance for you to redesign your website, get yourself put out there, make yourself much better known. And so there's another lovely opportunity. And overall, if you have children, paying attention to your children, because they're bringing blessings to you. And many things, whatever your creative works are, they're going to be better. Remember that Jupiter is a Karaka for the 5th house, which means it's something that makes it work super well in the 5th house. All right. Now we go to Capricorn. Lovely Capricorn. It's all about timing. Timing. Talk about timing is a thing. It's true, and timing brought me to you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, I had to do that. That's like some little ditty from, I think, late 50s, early 60s. Yeah, boy, much simpler times, indeed. How blessed I feel, you know. So Capricorn, your key phrases I use. And Virgo is another earth sign. So, I mean, this time of year should rock for you. In fact, this is a really good time of year for you to take a vacation, because Virgo rules your 9th house. So it rules travel and this new moon. Like I'm saying, this is a really good travel moon for the earth signs this weekend. And it's a really good new start. And, you know, things were maybe, you know, in Leo a little bit difficult. You know, there's all this transformation, sort of out of your control stuff. I mean, Venus in your 8th house right now might, you know, pick up the libido a little bit. But you got to remember too, it's, you know, it's trining Jupiter in the 12th house, so it's really urging you, make lovely. You know, the spiritual Venus is complete freedom. It's beyond lust, and it's just seeing loveliness, just the sensuality of nature, and just appreciating beauty without needing reciprocation or desire. that actually makes you really attractive. It's a really hard place to go because we get hungry, you know, we want satisfaction. But you know, with the sun and moon right now in the 9th house, it could teach you a higher love, and it could bring you to the ashram. It can bring you to a place of deep spiritual understanding this week, and that's where you're moving forward. And there's some good fortune and luck coming to you, and you know, just whatever good karma you do and any good works you do spiritually are going to be returned to you in a way that's going to be extra rewarding. And I just believe in you, and I think that your intelligence is being seen by others. Yes. And all in all, I think you'll make it work. Well, greetings Aquarius, and welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so you got this Saturn thing in the 1st house. You know, Saturn is actually easier in the 12th house for some reason. The house of loss, maybe that's because it's a loss of restrictions. I'm not really sure. I don't think it quite works that way. I know a lot of, yeah, I know some Aquarius risings, and that's not exactly what happens. So, feeling restricted, and you know what a lot of this is about making friends with Saturn. Do you want to thank someone who's punishing you? Generally not, but you know, in a lot of ways, it is a spiritual boot camp. And I think when somebody who's punishing you is hiding from you, they're not really being open, you know, and they're just running away. That's kind of sneaky. That's kind of dirty. You know what I mean? It's kind of creepy, too, in a weird way. But imagine how horrible they must be feeling inside. And to send compassion and light to those who are really not doing the right thing, that's what's going to make you a better person, and that's what's going to help exorcise these demons and these kind of unpleasant thoughts that sometimes we go through sometimes. On the other hand, I'm thinking Jupiter in the 3rd house, you know, it's making good friends. And maybe you've had problems with a brother or something in your family. And maybe this is a time to really put together reconciliation, forgiveness, and have better relationships. I mean, do it before it's too late. People in this country I've seen get really dirty when it comes to inheritance, siblings fighting with each other. Many don't. Many are just completely loving, good tribes of people. But unfortunately, resolve things. You know, resolution is really so important. It's more important than revolution, I'll tell you that much. Revolution can create chaos and put responsibility on people that are not even ready to take on that responsibility. So, you know, what is Virgo time for, you know, it's a lot of transformation and change for Aquarius. So this isn't the easiest time. It's other people's money. Your spouse might be doing really well right now. They might be making decisions. And the best thing to do is really during this period is just kind of lay back for the next 4 weeks, you know, because, you know, your time is coming. Things will get a lot better once it gets to be Libra time. And, you know, we already got Mercury in Libra, so your communication is good. You know, you're saying what you need to say. And in Vedic astrology, that's actually Virgo Mercury, which is exalted. So I think you're on to something really intelligent and really smart. And we need you to be the best you can be, Aquarius. Greetings, Pisces, and welcome to your horoscope. So, you know, Jupiter's in the 2nd house. You know, Jupiter's actually in the constellation of Pisces, so if you're born pretty late in it. But one of the things happens when Jupiter is retrograde, it's coming closer to the Earth, you know. And so, I don't know if it's just you, but I see other people in my life, and there's this sort of tenderness, there's this openness that we're moving closer and closer towards spirit. Now, when Jupiter's in your 2nd house, like it is for you Pisces, especially, you know, ones born, you know, before the 13th of March, you know, you're seeing this is an opportunity to pray, to chant, to sing hymns, and to sing kirtan, Vedas, any kind of spiritual sounds, you know, just ohms and shaloms, you know, they can really bring this kind of oneness vibration in your life that's super positive. It's also can bring a certain amount of wealth to you. And I think when Venus goes in the 6th house, it's like, it could be like enjoying your work, or, you know, and so, yeah, you're enjoying your work more. And what's the other nice thing? Moon and Sun this weekend in the 7th house. Love is coming. Love is shining through. That love of truth. that love of nurturing, that love of caring, that love of lifting each other up and having compassion. That is what is working. And I believe that that's what's going to work for you this week. And I just so much appreciate you being here. Neptune's still in the first house, you know. It's you've got a deep connection to spirit. I mean, unless you have a deep connection to like alcohol and drug abuse, you know, I mean, a little bit of having fun's okay. But let's face it, you know, we have to be as conscious and aware, have our wits as much as possible in these times. There's a lot of deception, and we have to be aware of the truth. So with that, I'm just going to close, and I thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to hit the notification button, to share it, to subscribe, to like, and I appreciate your comments. I'm looking forward to being with you again. Next week we're going to do this again with KozmicKev100, and you can, I see your comments. If you're interested in a reading or whatever, you can send it to me on the YouTube page. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Tat Sat.